Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
And this is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
This is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And you're listening to The Drop, our weekly podcast about running. I know some people say it's about other stuff, but no, you know why you're listening. You're listening because we're hardcore runners. We're going to talk splits today. We're going to talk times. We're going to talk stretching routines, nutrition. We're going to talk
a GPS watch data.
Oh, yeah.
What's the one that's like power or something?
Oh, I think it is just called watts.
Watts, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We're going to get in all the technical stuff. So buckle up. It's a technical day of fartleks, 200s, 10Ks, 1Ks.
You're just...
repeats.
Are the watts? Okay, yeah. I'm already bored.
I know, right? This is why we don't talk about this stuff, by the way, people. We are bored. And nobody cares.
Are the watts the same as light bulb watts? Like, could you power a light bulb if you were...
That's it.
No, I think it stands for watts you're doing. So it's like, no, is that too much of a dad joke?
I was deep into the dad cave.
Right.
So bad.
What's you up to?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Watson, get in here.
Yeah, it's gonna go on forever.
Yeah.
Watson and Crick. That's that was the DNA. They discovered DNA.
Oh, cool.
Right?
I don't think so.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
I believe that I thought.
Yes, I'm right. Okay. I had to check that just to make sure. Yeah.
All right.
Francis Crick and James Watson. Thank you for discovering DNA, because without it we would never have dinosaurs.
I thought they were the ones who went across
the
United States for the first time.
Yeah, that was
Lewis and Watts.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, about running and stuff.
I mean, I'm not even gonna wait. Let's just get into Berlin, because that stuff was crazy.
Oh yeah.
First off,
do you know what time we got up, Robbie?
I don't.
So stupid. I set my alarm for 4:45, and Thomas decides that he is going to be wide awake at 3 a.m. And then I knew the marathon was on, so then I was like, well...
That was the hard part. Like, normally I'd wake up, if I wake up at 3, I'm like, well, I'll just go back to bed. But I knew that we were getting up in an hour, and I'm just like, I know the marathon's already started.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why am I sitting here in the dark? So I just kept being like, I don't know, Meg, are you awake?
Like
that really fun, like, oh, hey, are you awake? Are you awake?
Like, it's 10 times before she's awake.
Yes.
I am now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, we had Flow Track, which I purchased last year for the year.
Which
might have been after a few beverages.
Never works.
They didn't have commentary.
What?
They just had the video.
They had the feed without the
garbage.
commentary. So John Ober, who happened to be up,
Yeah.
we start messaging. John's like, well, I'm getting it on YouTube. So I put it on YouTube on my phone so I could hear the commentary on the Flow Track video on the TV. And I know that I could stream to my TV, but the problem is those YouTube channels, they always drop out.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like last 10K, last 5K to go. And it's like,
yeah, they're playing a game of whack-a-mole trying to shut down all the bootleg feeds.
Yeah. Whack-a-mole.
Yeah. I woke up at 6:15, so I knew it was finished, but I was hoping that there would be...
6:15 is early for you.
Yeah, that's when I woke up, but as you said, I knew that it had gone, and I was like, man, I really want to find out.
Yeah.
So I didn't go back to sleep, and I opened YouTube and scrolled slowly, hoping that I would see just a live feed of it without announcing. And of course, the first result was Eliud Kipchoge wins Berlin Marathon. Okay, that was cool.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I love the YouTube when you don't click on a video and you can watch it and you just hit the sound and you don't have to go through the whole rigmarole.
Oh, wait, what?
So if you're like looking through the feed on your phone, you know how it auto plays?
Yeah.
You just hit the sound, and you don't have to like start from the beginning with the commercials and everything.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Meanwhile, I hope you enjoyed the commercial on the opening of this YouTube video.
The Eliud. So yeah, I saw Eliud Kipchoge win, which was nice. I kind of just like fast forwarded through the boring parts, which was 26.1 miles of it, and no. I tried to see until like people separate it, and then I was like, all right, I get it. Like there's two people run. It seemed like a boring race.
We gotta talk about something though.
Okay.
No nose is limited.
Like, it was hard to watch. There was literally Morton streaming out of his nose.
We're talking about I don't even know if it was a snot rock. It was more like a snot river.
I think they developed a new way to get him nutrition, and maybe it's through his nose. Like,
I mean, if you think about that, it's a kind of a circular nutrition system. Just what goes in and what comes out goes back in.
Like, I know when you're running, like,
It is.
you maybe aren't like conscious of everything happening on your body, but you have to feel that on your face.
yeah, but here's the problem: you don't have sleeves.
He had arm sleeves. Was he wearing sleeves during the race?
But just use your hand.
No, because what he then? Oh.
Yeah, he was wearing sleeves.
Okay,
He's had sleeves.
They need to develop Nike. You need to develop the booger sleeve. Because like if you wiped with that, it's just gonna keep running. Like that was a stream. That wasn't like you wipe once and you don't have boogies anymore.
Also, is that a side effect of something?
Yeah.
Okay.
COVID.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was a
we
lot.
Just got a
like,
sticker for COVID on.
I've had kids, and that might be a whole winter's worth of mucus in one race.
Yeah.
Do you know what's the worst when you go over to see someone's kid? Like someone's like, hey, you gotta meet my kids. You gotta come over.
Yeah.
So you're in their living room, and that thing is a drooler or a snotter.
Yeah, there's just
they're like, pick it up. Hey, you can hold them. I'm like, no, it's good.
yeah. I'd rather not touch the walking virus.
Then I look at all their furniture. And I'm like looking to see like snail trails on it. You know, for the kids.
Yeah.
Don't touch anything.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, Iliad won easily. Although he did have a pacer through, what was that, 30K, 35K?
Can you explain the pacer thing? Because some races you don't, and I thought that was the whole thing with his world record, was that you weren't allowed to have pacers for a world record.
It was my understanding is that they can't be there the whole time.
They can only be there till the Brandenburg Gate and then
Wait a minute.
bail off.
Can you imagine pacing Iliad Kipchoge the whole time? Do a
Well,
world
no,
record
like swapping out.
Right.
Like I'm saying, like you couldn't have someone swap out and have a pacer the whole time. I don't think.
I don't know.
But Assefa had, her pacer was there until the last quarter mile.
Oh, he almost ran her through the great gate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like, it was right till the end. So
We'll get to,
like he was dying.
Let's get to her in a moment.
Okay. What else?
So let's talk. Well, you were talking about the pacer. Did you, in your viewing of the Berlin Marathon, did you stop and see when they did his pacer stopped? And there's, I forget the other guy's name. It was like Needs or something who was running.
I didn't see that.
Okay, so the whole time it was Kipchoge and about 4 people. 2 of them, I think, were pacers. The other guy was a Nike athlete. He was wearing the Tiffany colorway of the
next percent. Yeah.
Vaporfly 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So they're going. He ends up running all the way to, I want to say, what mile was that, Meg? Was that like 23 or so? Where his pacer dropped off, and
It was around 20, I think.
okay, the other guy dropped.
His name was Needs.
I forget. It was like Ketis or Needus or
Like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Like Thomas is literally just making stuff up right now.
shelter.
The other one
safety.
was wants.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. After my
Like
quick
wants his
Google,
shoes.
after my quick Google search, the pacemakers need to start the race along with the runners actually racing it, and they can't rotate in and out like Kipchoge did in the sub 2.
Okay, so
Yeah.
no rotating. I don't. Why, if they're running the same pace, why does it matter?
You can't
Because
squ-
there's
you
like
can't
fresh legs coming in.
You can't square dance.
Also, they have
okay.
ridiculous rules.
The other
so-
thing I don't like is that they're still drafting off the person the whole time.
Yeah.
Like
That was the thing. Like I
It's a clear
watched.
advantage.
I watched, and I actually think the other guy that dropped out with his pacer, he was a racer, but I think he was there pacing because they did
I see what you're saying.
2. They did his pacer and the other guy ran side by side, and Kipchoge ran right behind them at one point.
Okay, yeah. So
for like a mile.
interesting.
Or so.
This is his name if you want to try and say it.
Is it Needs?
It's Kindle or Kindy?
Kindy.
Oh,
Yeah, Kanindi.
I thought that was an Amazon product for a
the
second.
K is silent, so it's Nindy. I think.
No, what? No.
I don't
That's
know.
not. No, it's just Kindy. I didn't.
Yeah, they
see the
separated
first
at
name.
31K.
Okay.
No, 31K.
They were having irreconcilable differences and separated.
Yeah. But both when they pulled off, his pacer looked like he was going to throw up. Like, I think it took everything for him just to do that. And then the other guy that dropped out at the same time.
Yeah.
And he looked real tired. And that's why I thought maybe he was a pacer.
Yeah, I could see that little, what do you call that? It's not a switcheroo. I don't know. Moving
Little
on.
Nike magic trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so the big story, obviously, and this is kind of crazy if you think about any other sport. And I feel in general, women's running is really taking the front seat in the sport.
I could agree with that.
There's been some arguments that the women are, quote, catching up now because we weren't involved in the sport as long as you guys.
Oh, like an evolutionary process?
Sure.
Like you guys were tadpoles?
No, like we weren't allowed to run in the marathon.
Well, that's because you would die.
I mean, I will say, so it was pretty shocking that Tigris and Assefa, I'm not sure if it's
I like that you tried.
I'm not sure. I know the last name I pronounce right.
Mm-hmm.
Tigris and Assefa. It's crazy that she won by over 2 minutes. Beat the world record by over 2 minutes.
No, she won by over 6 minutes. Yeah.
That means at that pace, the closest woman was over a mile behind her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Almost a mile and a half.
But I think the most staggering stat is the one where it says her split over the last 2.195K of the race was only 4 seconds slower than Kipchoge's. She was running a sub 5 minute mile in the end of the race.
Yeah, I looked at the splits and she had a 2:59K split at mile 16, but the last 2K splits were her fastest of the race.
Right.
All right.
And dude, she was not breathing through her mouth. Like I double checked.
Robbie's like, hey, if you're not a mouth breather,
I mean,
that pace.
I feel like if you're running a 450, you have to be breathing through your mouth. And if you look at the finish line photos when she's about to come up, like, and in the video, she was looking pretty comfortable. That was crazy.
Well, clearly she didn't have as many boogies as Kipchoge.
True. But I did see. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, what's the big story about her and this record?
The shoes.
Yeah. Real quick before we get to the shoes, I did see like the percentages of. It's like how close the women's records are to the men's records in different distances, and it's usually in the 9 to 10% range.
Okay.
And I think hers was 8%. So it's not crazy, but it's pretty crazy.
All right.
Yeah. So
let's talk about the shoes a little bit. So we've been following this. You've written articles about it, Robbie. And if you guys want to check out our website, Robbie's done some in-depth reporting.
BelieveInTheRun.com.
Yeah. If you don't know that.
Imagine that if you didn't know that.
Anyway, Robbie's written a couple pieces on that. Interestingly enough, you've written 2 pieces. You wrote when the shoe launched, and then you recently wrote an article on what shoe she was wearing and went through it. We actually have the shoe now in our possession.
We should actually...
It's not here.
It's not here?
Not here.
Man, you could have showed it off on the podcast.
Yeah.
They can look at it on our Instagram reel later today. Well, actually, it'll already be published by the time this is out.
True. Yeah.
And we can also include photo. We have beautiful photos.
Yeah, continue.
Brandon, throw some of the beautiful shoe photos up on the podcast.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I did put Thomas's shoes on and run down our hallway.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
I was gonna say.
Well, you didn't get there fast enough.
Well, because Robbie's asking me about inventory.
You weren't talking in a $500 shoe type of way.
Yeah. Hey, that's a new way to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You don't talk to me unless you're wearing at least $500 worth of shoes. All right, Meg.
You have to do it with a German accent.
Don't. Okay,
Robbie. I was setting him up for failure.
Yeah. Okay.
You know he's gonna now.
I could do it.
No.
I can do
Okay.
it.
So anyway, I put Thomas's shoes on. They're as light as my Vaporflies, my size Vaporflies, which is nuts. But
okay, for my size 10.5, it weighs 5.1 ounces. I've never had a shoe that light. Maybe even a flip flop. I don't think is that light. Mm-hmm. And that's 145 grams or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so hard for me to tell with a shoe that's so not my size, but it didn't feel quite as bouncy as I thought it was going to feel. But again, it was so not my size.
Okay, first off, yeah. So the geometry of the shoe, they moved the pivot point back a little bit, so you're like it's not going to hit your foot where it's supposed to, and the rods are all set up for that. So I think that's maybe why you're not feeling it. I did try them on. I don't want to. I'm going to actually use them this week, but for this, I didn't want to, try to do a sprint or anything. So I just jogged up and down our street.
Mm-hmm.
They are soft, bouncy, grippy, everything that you expect in a fast shoe. I don't know that the cushioning is going to blow you away like it's so different than other things you've used. What blows you away is it's as good as anything out there, I think. And I'll find out how I feel about it really tomorrow when I do a longer run in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels as good as anything that's out there. And you feel like you've got tissue paper on your feet.
Yeah. Well, when you handed me the box, actually, when you handed me the shoe, it was ridiculous. Like it felt like you were just handing me a feather. And when you handed me the box of both the shoes, it felt like you said an empty shoe box.
Yeah.
It just feels like nothing. I mean, it's a pair of shoes that weighs less than a half pound.
Yeah.
Or about half pound.
It's shocking how they feel. And I totally understand when Adidas said when they gave it to the athletes were like,
they couldn't,
nothing there. I don't know why light sometimes translates to like cheap feeling, but it does feel like a styrofoam cup. Like it feels like you're holding, like if they told me that's the same material they use in a styrofoam cup, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. But anyways, it was crazy. And so during the race, there's a whole thing with everyone wasn't sure if Assefa was wearing that shoe or a Adios Pro 4 or a different shoe. But, as we figured out, there's two versions of the Evo 1, which is crazy because it makes the shoe name even longer. There's Evo 1 V2.
Let's do the whole name. Adidas, Adizero, Adios, Pro, Evo 1.
V2.
For the second one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just be Evo 2?
No, it's Evo 1 V2. Yeah.
It's just because it's just the different outsole.
Yeah, so that one had a Continental rubber outsole, which everyone was like, why would they be wearing this? And my speculation is that first huge race in this shoe, they probably want something that feels a little familiar. They've been running the Adios Pro 3 for however long, last couple of years. I'm guessing it's just a personal feel preference, like having the Continental rubber.
I also felt Thomas's shoe, like I know they said they did all that testing and it's great and wet. I don't believe that.
I think it is.
Okay.
It felt pretty grippy. Like,
yeah.
You think so?
I did.
I felt like that thing would slide right around.
It doesn't look grippy at all, but just like digging it into the, a surf, like when I had it, I was just like it stuck pretty fast.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I think it felt just fine. Here's another thing we don't think about. There's all sorts of business things. So did Continental say, hey, you've got a contract with us.
Could be.
And we've got an exclusive with you. You've got an exclusive with us.
Yeah, who knows?
Put Continental on the bottom for these efforts.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? It could be as simple as
that's true.
as a business deal.
Because if you think about it, I mean, they said that switching out the outsole saved 20 grams, which is about a half an ounce. So that's an eighth of the shoe. So,
and at her size, I'm going to guess that she's, at max a women's 10.
Yeah. Who knows?
Probably less. Yeah.
So if mine at 10.5 for men weighs 145 grams, say you dropped her down, she's in the 130 range or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you add 20 grams, they said? That puts her at 150. She's right around 5.1 ounces, same as Meg's Vaporfly for a size 10, if she's that big.
Mathing.
I know.
Mathnet.
Right now in our studio, I know if you're listening and you're running, but in here, numbers and triangles.
Do you remember the show?
Do
you remember the show Mathnet?
Mm-mm.
It was a show called Square One on PBS.
I was going to say, I was going to wonder why it got canceled.
Do you remember that show, Square One?
No. Somebody made an Andy Griffith reference on one of our videos.
That was wild.
I'm like, dude, how far back are you? Are you on like that? What's that free TV show channel where you can watch the oldies?
Like Laughland or something.
Yeah, something like that. You're too young, man.
I used to watch
I don't
that.
understand any
I
of
did
this.
actually used to watch that show a lot, the Andy Griffith show.
because
it came on,
after school, right?
well, it came on in the mornings during the summertime, and we had
didn't have
one
cable.
channel, so it's just what I had to do. That show is called Square One, and there's a segment of it called MathNet, where it was two detectives and they were into solving math problems. So they had like their holsters, instead of having guns, had calculators in it.
Nerds.
Dude, they were cool though.
Cool until the bank robber came.
Well, if you ever watch it, make sure you check out the Fibonacci episode. That's the best one. 112357 Fibonacci.
Fibonacci code.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Megan.
Yeah. You can crack any safe with the Fibonacci.
And the Fibonacci code is in nature everywhere. Yeah. Seashells.
It looks like a spiral, like a nautilus shell. Is I think exactly what Robbie's trying to describe.
I think it's in pineapples too. Anyways, so
pineapples.
Do you want to keep talking about that?
I would say between having bananas on ice cream and pineapple on ice cream, I'll take pineapple all day.
Yeah, I bet you can have both, and it's still equally awesome.
Now you're just eating fruit salad.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I bet you we'll get more comments about the Fibonacci sequence than we will about the actual marathon.
Oh, definitely.
All right, so are we wrapped up on her? But congrats for taking a world record down.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Thomas with your first check-in. And we're getting into long days of training, which is exciting because this podcast is dragging on. You'll find out. Anyway, let's talk about weather. You're never going to know what it's going to be on race day. You never know what it's going to be in life. So if it's raining a little bit out, I didn't feel like doing my long run in the rain this past week, but I knew, hey, there's a potential chance that New York could be a really wet day. And I'm not going to have a choice on whether or not I want to run on that day. I mean, I do have a choice, but it'd be lame if I didn't. So just get used to the weather. If it's raining, go out. If it's hot, go out. If it's windy, go out. Just do the run.
There was some other really cool performances. Charlotte Purdue is now the second fastest British lady. Mm-hmm. She ran a 2:22. Our own Megan Featherston broke 2:50, ran a 2:49.
I think we're going to go over that with her
yes.
on the other podcast, Feel for the Soul. If you listen to that, we'll probably do a Berlin recap. The way that she ended the marathon, and I'm not talking about when she crossed, I'm talking about after she crossed the line, is pretty insane.
Yeah. Champ.
So, I mean, she got pictures with Ilya Kipchoge and other stuff, but we'll cover all that stuff.
Cool. All right.
And only one woman got the OTQ in Berlin. One U.S. woman.
One U.S.
got a new OTQ
Only
in Berlin.
one person?
Yeah.
Was she the one who made it to the track house? The Tracksmith track house?
I don't know. Her name was Lily Anderson.
What was the speed of the person that made it to the track house?
2:37.
But I saw that poster. It said 2:37.19, which would not be an OTQ.
Oh, I thought that was
You have to run sub 2:37. You have to run a 2:36.59.
I thought it was 2:38.
That is why we have banned the number 237 from our household.
So anytime the clock changes to 2:37, you throw it through the wall.
Yeah, because
every time.
Makes sense.
Wait, you know what's weird? Like
It's a
in
lot
our
of
houses growing up, we used to all have clocks, and my dad used to go around daylight savings and change all the clocks. I just realized we have 0 clocks except for on, like a microwave or a coffee maker.
Oh man, we need to bring back clocks, like real ones.
That chime, the scary chime, like when it hits midnight.
I don't like the chimes. That'll just wake me up.
Yeah.
And as much as I would love to have a cuckoo clock, no one needs that. And
We had one when I was a kid. I loved it.
yeah, I mean it's cute. Was it cute all the time, or just the first time it does?
I loved it all the time, but there was times where I probably spent more time. Like kids wouldn't be able to do it today with the attention span. There was times where I was like, oh,
Just wait on that.
I know
bird
there's
to come
like
out.
3 minutes for the cuckoo to come. And I would do like the big hours.
That's
you
cool.
don't want to hit like 1, 2, 3.
No.
You want to hit like a 5 o'clock on.
Yeah, that's the best time to see a cuckoo for sure.
Yeah.
But remember that in Honey I Shrunk the Kids when they had the Schrodinger's cat clock? Do you remember that one? That was cool.
It wasn't Schrodinger's cat. The
Isn't
one
it
where the
Schrodinger's
guy's
cat?
his eyes go back and forth. Schrodinger's cat's the test if you open the box to find out if the cat is dead.
Oh shoot, I'm just mixing up cats now.
Yeah.
What's You're right. Oh, it's the Kit Kat clock.
Yeah, I thought that was a Pee Wee Herman thing.
Oh, Schrodinger's cat. That wasn't. But they also made a comic, like a Looney Tunes cartoon. That's why I got it confused. That was from my childhood.
That's frightening.
Yeah, it was weird.
But you realize it was poison in a box that gets released, and you can't say the cat is dead or alive until you look in the box. So that's the whole paradigm.
Yeah, they called it. That was the name of the cartoon, but it was. I think there was just this cat.
Is that Tom and Jerry?
No, it was just like one of those weird like Warner Brothers like cartoons where it was kind of dark. Remember back in like the 30s when cartoons were weird and dark and like bad things happened, but you didn't realize it until you're older.
Yeah.
This guy was just trying to kill a cat the whole time, and like in really dire circumstances, and the tables turned in the end, so it was all good. But
the
for
cat
a kid,
kills him.
Yeah, I think that's actually what happened. But I'll have to find the name of that cartoon. But it was I think it was called that. But anyways, yeah, the Kit Kat clock with the eyes and the tail. I've always wanted one of those, and I feel like maybe I should ask for that for Christmas this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think in Japan we probably could have gotten that for you pretty easy.
They're $60. That seems a little high.
How big is that?
I think it's just like this,
like a foot big.
Yeah, a foot tall.
A foot big, Meg.
Anyways, but yeah, so maybe we'll get one of those for Christmas. Maybe get one for the office.
I was gonna say that could be the office clock.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not into cats at all, but
actually, you know, it'd be a cool office clock if we get like
dude, Ralphie would freak out.
A Kipchoge and his legs are the swinging.
I don't think that exists.
Or alpha fly with the laces being the.
Again, pretty sure that's not out there.
I'm making it.
Okay.
It could happen.
You can make a clock out of anything. That's the cool thing about clocks.
Yeah. Anything.
People love making clocks out of weird stuff.
Okay.
Like guitars or
a block
cigar boxes. Who knows? Block of wood.
Time.
You could literally
flat circle.
Just go dumpster diving and turn any of that stuff into a clock.
Speaking of dumpster diving, we got a package stolen from us last night, and on my run, I saw the ripped open box with my name on the front of it.
What was it?
It was collagen and...
yeah, they got collagen and blister band-aids.
Dude, I swear package thieves are just magnetically attracted to the dumbest stuff. Like they never even steal good stuff.
Well, I'm so frustrated because I'm like, you don't even need this stuff. Like
Actually, the blister stuff they probably could use.
Yeah.
But I need it.
I know. But here's the crazy thing. It's like there's got to be a house someplace in Baltimore that has the randomest shit that you can't resell. Because you can't be to someone, hey, you want to buy this jar of
there is
$30 value of collagen.
There was a place in Highlandtown where there was like 4 people living in a vacant house, and when they busted them, that's exactly what it was. The backyard was just filled with tons of crap.
Yeah. I mean, if they were smart, they would get a phone, scan the item, find out what it sells for, come back to the neighborhood with like a cart.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was the funny thing. It back to us. The one time this guy got a drone stolen out of his back seat, but he worked for the railroad, so it's technically a federal federal property because it was and they took the drone, which you can track within 10 seconds of turning it on, and it's exactly what happened. But they ditched the road case for it, which is worth like $150, like the carrying case that we carry with our podcast. So they ditched that in the alley. The only thing that's actually worth value. They have no sense of. I need to teach these guys some lessons.
Well, first you got to get them off the crack.
Yeah,
and then
yeah. I mean, I guess there's a lot of things that don't make sense, but
I mean, crack is probably from the 80s. It's probably heroin now.
Fentanyl. Yeah.
Oof. Anyway, let's get on to something more exciting. That we had some training this week. I got the opportunity to train with both of you, and I have to say, it made my week.
Wow. It doesn't take much.
Yeah.
It does.
That makes me feel special.
You are special.
Thank
we
you.
did a fun run. Like we did 18 miles, or did you do more than 18?
18.
We did 18 miles. We started off in the rain.
Yeah.
Downpour.
Tropical storm, which, by the way, the whole tropical storm thing and people freaking out. Let's get over this.
Were people freaking out this weekend?
I mean,
there was alerts.
Everything was closed down. My kids' soccer games,
off.
The time my kids' soccer game was, it wasn't even raining for 2 hours.
Yeah, but the fields are wet.
It was a turf field.
Okay.
Yeah, got you on that one. But I'm like, I feel the tropical. I would have, if you wouldn't have said it was a tropical storm, I wouldn't have had any idea that it was any different than any other rainy day.
I like the name tropical storm because it sounds like you're going to get something cool with it, like drinks.
Yeah, throw in put some Mai Tais on the menu.
Maybe a flower lei.
Yeah, maybe some electrolyte coconut flavor. But so we went out right when it was pouring rain as the sun had not yet risen. It sucked for the first couple of miles.
And we did sort of a Robbie route. It was not the prettiest route it wasn't the tourist route.
And probably not the safest if Robbie's leading.
There was a couple areas where we were not in the best
I was like,
situation.
Oh, I've never run down this alley before. And Thomas is like, this is probably the last time I'll run down this alley.
Yeah, this may be the last time you run down any alley. There was some crazy stuff back there. There was like, you know how sometimes there's like this one weed that grows and then it turns into like a tree almost. It like gets so thick. Mm-hmm. There was one that was like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it's normally something that like if you saw like growing in your backyard, you just pull and
it would be cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you.
But yeah.
This was in the alley?
That was one of the things.
Okay.
Yeah, there was the usual Baltimore alley type things.
Yeah. Like a car with no plates.
Have you guys seen more rats than usual recently?
No.
I don't think I have, but then again, I've been eliminating them one by one. So,
and the past 2 mornings on my run, I've seen at least 2 rats. Like just running down the sidewalk.
Not in a trash, near a trash can?
No.
Where are you running?
Just rogue. Like normal routes. Like around the city, down Fleet Street, around the promenade. They're everywhere.
Yeah, usually they're only near piles of trash.
And these are like the big ones, like the fat ones.
Oh, really? Not?
Yeah. Gross.
King rats.
Anyway.
Isn't that the one that gets their tails all tied together?
Yeah. But
you'd love that one.
I thought, so I noticed, I told you guys this, but I had I can't tell if a rat took a gourd that I had tossed over the fence and like buried it in the ground, or just maybe the seed somehow
Robbie's
found its
magic
way.
gourds.
Yeah. But I discovered a gourd garden growing out of the side of my house, basically.
If you know that a rat's den is fertilizing the gourds that are coming off of that plant.
I see where you're going. Do I eat that?
Do you still eat them?
Are you eating rat gourds?
I think they're more of the decorative variety, that you just put on your front stoop or
Thanksgiving?
on your kitchen table.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Thanksgiving gourds.
But it's great. I have this whole crop of gourds now that I'm not sure what to do with, but it's cool. It's like they're I check in on them every day, like they're my little gourd babies.
Would you be devastated if someone came and took them all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That would break my heart.
Wow.
And I was worried that the rats were eating them before they got a chance to live, but they're thriving. So
thriving in Baltimore.
For now.
Yeah. I'm not going to, don't tell anyone. I don't want anyone looking at my Strava and figuring out where that gourd garden is.
They cut off the 10 quarter.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, they still have the general area. I could just see one of our stalkers walking around the neighborhood looking for gourds.
It's like 9-something Grundy.
Dude.
That's what they're coming for, the gourds. Yeah. For sure.
They're coming for your blister cream and my gourds.
Blister cream.
And the collagen. Think of the king rat you could make with that.
Man, his joints are lubed up.
Yeah. You know what the problem is? No vitamin C.
Yeah.
That's why I need to eat your gourds.
You're probably right.
Anyway, so Robbie and I did the run. Robbie, you had said you'd had the last long run sucked for you.
Well, that was the one in New York. Was that the one in New York City?
Yeah, that one was hard.
Oh, it was New York City, the long run, and then I woke up late the next weekend. And then, so this one.
So this was a good
this
run.
was probably the best feeling run I've had. Oh, man. I don't know, man. Maybe like a year.
Whoa.
And the last 2 miles. So Robbie and I are running very easy for the miles. Mm-hmm. We did do a little bit of hills and elevation and stuff like that.
Yeah, for the first half. Mm-hmm.
But, I could tell Robbie was feeling really good. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
You're looking like you want to go.
You gave me some motivation.
Robbie had on the Vaporfly Next Percent 3s.
Which, by the way, I wore those because in the rain, it's like the best shoe because they don't retain any weight. They drain
But also,
so well.
like, you're ruining them in the rain.
When's Robbie going to run in
when
those?
else?
I don't know.
What do you mean I'm ruining them, though?
Like, I feel like when you run in the rain, it just kind of, it ruins them.
It doesn't ruin them.
I dried them off with the Ozo Dry.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Ozo Dry.
The The miles are what ruin it.
Well, I just feel like the rain miles make it worse. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not a sponge.
But yeah, so Thomas was like, towards the end of the run, was like, if you want to get, run some faster miles, which I wasn't going to.
The kid dropped the hammer.
Yeah, I ran a couple 720s to finish it
Wow.
out, which
is at the end of. So this is like, it's one thing I think if you were running, like we were running moderate, and then you took off and kind of just increased the pace a little bit, but you went from like 9s to 7:15 and just.
Yeah, it felt pretty good overall. So
that's great news.
I mean, with wet shoes, I'll take it. So,
at the end of 18.
Yeah. So that made me feel good about my marathon training. We still have 6 weeks till New York City. And
it's going to be here so fast.
I know. But so that's my plan from now on, Meg. I was telling Thomas this, is that I always go hard and then get injured halfway through marathon training. So I just, instead of doing that, I just do half of the marathon training. That way, by the time I'm about to get injured, I'm running a race. We're good.
Okay. All right. Solid.
So instead of 12 weeks of training, you just do 8 weeks.
I think you have to start with a base if you're doing that, but that's good. I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
But
right.
I'm joking, but kind of not.
Yeah.
I don't think you are.
I don't think you are either.
It's better than Brandon's training, which is not training.
He's an experiment in action
that we're documenting. So
Robbie,
it should be great.
if you could be 24 and you know that you can run the distance, he's not trying to go for time.
I know, but it's like, even though I still feel like when we say you can't cheat the marathon distance, I feel like you really can't, even if you're running it slow. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's gonna be miserable,
and like your whole day will be ruined if you can't.
Enjoy editing this one, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon.
I've said this to his face.
Yeah,
Brandon.
We're talking straight to his face.
Yeah.
So it is interesting to me, though. I'm like, I love thinking about, or just pondering what could happen. And it could be, he could totally just run a great race. And
okay, let's get down to the real part of this, though. Would you rather he be punished for not training because you're like, that's not fair?
Yeah.
Or would you rather be like, wow, he really pulled something out of his hat and was able to?
Oh, I mean,
the latter.
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
See, I think that people in general with running, like if you know somebody like is not doing what you have to do and can pull it out of their butt, you're like, they need to learn a lesson.
I mean, I get that to some degree. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's human nature in anything. Like that kid needs to learn a lesson.
Well, but it's also like, it depends if it's someone who would also be braggy about it. Like, I don't think Brandon would be braggy, but
no. As a matter of fact, Brandon could run a time that we would be super psyched with.
Yeah.
And he would be disappointed.
Right. Yeah. But I hate those YouTube videos where it's like, oh, marathon with no training. And I'm like, yeah, you looked horrible. You ran 6.5 hours, took 15 breaks in between.
Well, even the guys that do run well with no training.
Yeah.
You're always like, well, did you really not train? Like, were you in another sport?
Right.
Like,
are you doing
like he plays soccer
cardio every day? Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. There's YouTube videos with how to not train for a marathon.
I've seen some where it's like marathon on no training.
Well, the whole CrossFit thing was you can run a marathon on basically no training. You do all the CrossFit exercises and do like a little bit of sprinting and stuff. And those guys were like, I think the founder of CrossFit was like a big proponent of not doing all the long runs and stuff.
I don't know about that.
You can look that up.
Okay.
Yeah. Fact check that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we finished up our long run and I got the pleasure because obviously now I can't keep up with Meg on the run. She is super duper fast. I mean, insanely fast. So I got on a bike and we went down to the B&A trail, which is a nice flat, slightly rolling. It's not completely flat. It's slightly rolling. And it's usually really popular, but because of tropical storm, what was it, Olivia or something?
I don't know.
Anyway.
They name tropical storms now?
Yeah, definitely.
Come on.
Well, I think they start off like you have to graduate. Like they're thinking it's a hurricane. So then they downgrade.
I think it was Ophelia.
So because of that, the trail was pretty empty. There's a couple runners, but normally you'd have to dodge some bicycles and stuff.
Yeah.
So that part was nice.
Okay.
But it was misty, raining. And Meg, you went out like her easy miles. What was the easy pace that you started? Like 7:30?
Our first mile was 7:40.
Okay. And then it just dropped. And if you want to see the prettiest splits you've ever seen, she made sure every split was slightly faster than the next.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finished, what was our last mile, Meg? What was your pace?
5:40.
Dang.
And how many miles total was it?
16.
Okay. When was this?
On Sunday.
Oh, it's Sunday.
So after we watched the Berlin Marathon and I was all jacked up, we went out and did.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. That is the way to do it.
Do you know that they say psychologically, if you watch a fast runner, a good runner, in your head, you can, like, it does something for you that you will then, like, form wise or just.
I mean, I believe that. It's like, you know that from experience. When you watch Karate Kid as a kid, you knew how to do karate afterwards.
I can totally crane kick you.
Yeah. But like, you didn't even have any idea how to do karate, and then you watch one.
You know what I took out of that?
And you're good.
I didn't learn how to do karate. I learned how to wax cars though, and paint wood.
Did you let your dad know that, and then he's just making you do chores all the time?
Yeah, he actually bought like a car from the 50s just so that I could restore it.
Imagine if like that's the life turn you took after watching Karate Kid. It wasn't that you became a karate master. It's just that you became really good at detailing cars.
I'm sure it happened to someone.
Yeah.
It's an honorable profession.
It's not. I've done it before, and it feels dishonorable.
If you did to boats, that's dirty work.
Is even worse.
So anyway, what I learned from watching Meg though was like, you think, like I just think, because she's always been talented and her times have just fallen incrementally over time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring up the times when I was faster than her for the first 2 years we ran together, but since then, in the dust.
Yeah,
and
not even close.
not even nearby. I have to ride a bike, dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, what you learn is that it's just as hard for her at those paces. So when I'm like watching the breathing, watching the effort, watching the feeling, and from when she starts, she's very lighthearted, and we were talking, joking, and then when we got down into those sub 6 minute miles, because the last 3 were all sub 6, right?
Man, that is those are good splits. I'm looking at them now.
Aren't they pretty?
I would frame that, put it.
I did it for the
tattoo
for the Strava map.
Meg, if Thomas got your splits tattooed, would you be?
No, dude.
If you OTQ and I got the splits tattooed on my forehead.
Oh my god!
Every day you get to look at it.
Imagine how annoyed that tattoo artist would be to have to do all those numbers.
It's the prettiest map you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It looks better on the phone than on
looks
desktop.
Looks like the.
Can you screenshot that?
That looks like a Mayan temple and
a Christmas tree
cut in half.
It's a Christmas tree.
Oh yeah, that too.
Send it to Brandon.
Yeah, screenshot that so people can see it if they watch the thing. Anyway, it's a joy both to watch Robbie and Megan succeeding right now and just turn it on. So
thanks, man.
I feel privileged to be
Your
a part
running
of it.
is going well as well.
Anyways, same thing.
Yeah, I'm coming back, but we'll see. My butt cheeks are hurting.
Okay.
Just on the left side.
That had nothing to do with our run together on Saturday.
That had everything to do with our run.
Yeah.
By the way, what are you using to fuel?
So Saturday, you mean during the run or just before?
During the run.
I did take scratch the night before, and then during the run, I had a Morton caffeine and a Goo Octane.
What about you, Meg?
I'm always Morton.
And I had scratch water, one bottle with water, one bottle with scratch.
Okay. You also did hydration. You did something different.
I did Gatorade because Castor is pushing me to not carry anything on race day. So
when you say
Gatorade's going to be
Gatorade,
out
is it
there.
Gatorade Endurance different from Gatorade?
It's the powder they mix together. So
I was wondering about that. Okay,
but
that's
is it
cool.
different than like
yeah,
if I go get a
the
green
profile
Gatorade?
is slightly different, I believe. But also, it's just like The thing I don't like about that is that, like you can stop at one water stop and it's watery, and then you can stop at another one and it tastes like there's so much powder, Gatorade powder in there.
Do you think
that you're
though
gonna
that
die.
Chicago's like world class? It's one of the world majors. Do you think that maybe these guys are a little better at mixing Gatorade?
No, absolutely
What
not.
if you just took a Gatorade packet and poured it in your mouth and then got a water cup and did that?
What if you just threw dust all over your mouth?
Yeah, seriously. I don't know.
Sometimes I like it when it doesn't mix properly. Not the Gatorade
You
so
like
much.
the chunk?
Yeah.
Like to chew on it?
Sometimes. It's like eating, remember when a kid, you just eat the Kool-Aid straight out of the can? Like, okay.
Also, like
Or
when
the
you're
nest-
trying to run really fast, that is like the last thing you want
Yeah.
is powder.
Maybe I was like, maybe it could distract you in a way.
It
Like, because I'm
could.
choking and can't breathe.
It'll distract
Well, no,
you.
but I'm saying you pour the powder in, drink a cup of water real fast, and then just running itself like mixes it up.
Okay, she's going for OTQ. Like she can't sit there and like chemist.
Yeah, with a Bunsen burner
Yeah.
sitting on the side of the.
What you have to do is heat it to a 60 degrees.
Yeah,
I like the thought that it'll just mix while I'm running, though.
Yeah.
That's good.
yeah.
It could. I mean, if you put it on your hips.
That'd be, oh, there you
Run
go.
it.
Bring hip flasks back. Yeah. Bring the hip belt back
Oh,
into
man.
action.
The hip belt was the worst. I'm glad to see that's dead.
Remember, that was my first running hydration.
You use a hip belt?
Yeah,
Do you
Wait, what
have
do you-
hips?
I think I was born with them.
Dude, I used to try to wear those belts way back.
Well, you don't
Wait,
have
what-
an ass. That's
Yeah,
why.
I just went, boom.
What belt are you talking about?
You know, they're like a Velcro belt, and they would have bottle holders. You could hold up to 4 bottles.
I had two. It was a Camelback one. It was it just like clips like a hydration belt.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen them.
Yeah, but
They
like,
went the way the running skirt.
Yeah, I that was a short.
no,
time
I think
for me.
people still use these.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
First
But-
time marathoners, big fan base there.
Yeah,
We're probably making someone real angry right now.
I'm not saying I'm saying I wore it before. I
Okay.
just
yeah. Somebody,
I don't hate it.
we did get a mention because I called a pace mediocre, and I want to apologize, but at the same time, paces are so relative.
I think you were saying that in comparison to like a racing shoe, like a
to an elite.
yeah.
But see, somebody heard that out there, and they took it like I was giving a personal, or I guess putting like, hey, these are people or this, so anybody's slower than that.
No,
And look, I really don't care what anybody runs, and if anybody, like, I run with the Faster Bastards. I'm probably the slowest person on the Faster Bastards team, and the only reason I'm out there is I'm one of the first people on the Faster Bastards.
Everyone else got faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, pace doesn't matter to me. It's all about the effort, people. So if you're out there, you're having fun, you're wearing a hip flask belt.
Yeah,
and
I remember
enjoy it.
that comment. It was in direct correlation to elite race. I think it was the Adios, the shoe that we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
In which case, that is like it didn't. Oh, and the packaging for that shoe.
Oh, the packaging for the new shoe. People are not going to like that. In the packaging of the Evo 1,
Yeah.
I'm not going to give the whole name, but you know what I'm talking about, the new Adidas shoe.
I call it the Evo one.
They have a card in there that basically says if you are not running a sub 30, 330 marathon, 330 is the max. It's a waste of a shoe for you. Shouldn't purchase the shoe.
Yeah,
Which I was happy because that means I've only wasted about half of my marathons.
yeah.
And some of them I've actually earned the right to run in the shoe.
Oh, and I forgot you ran that. This isn't related to that, but I think we covered that. You did a Chick-fil-A 5K.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
I continued last Sunday. I did a loop around I was running and I was like, oh, Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday. This is like, normally there's a line of cars. Like, this is the only time I'll be able to run through the drive-thru and get it on my Strava
Yeah.
map.
Yeah.
So I did it. And then this week, after I paced Meg on the bike, I went back out. We were going to watch football all day. So I was like, I'll get my 3 miles in to finish up the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it'd be kind of fun to just loop the drive through the Chick-fil-A. So I did.
How many loops did you do?
I did 20 loops.
Oh my God.
Pretty good.
That's too many loops.
Yeah, but
Not enough.
it was about, I stretched it out to about a tenth of a mile. So each loop was a tenth of a mile. So running from the house was about half mile.
Did you make a segment?
Chick-fil-A. I didn't. But I'm thinking we could do an unofficial, like Robbie, if you want to start doing with me on Sundays, we could start doing the Chick-fil-A 5K on Sundays and make it a thing. And then people could come out and join us. Then we start getting, people clocking times. But right now I started from the house because it's a half mile.
Yeah.
And then did the equivalent 2.5 miles around the Chick-fil-A and then back to the house.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty admirable.
It's not bad.
I thought you were going to say it's not admirable.
I like the monotony of it. I appreciate some monotony.
It's Sunday. I was tired. I just wanted to go watch football.
No, let's be real. Why'd you really go out there and log 3 miles?
Oh, because I had 40. I had
Oh,
40.
okay.
I had 40.
There it is.
48 miles for the week. And
Right.
I was like, I'm not getting that close to 50 and dropping the ball.
There it
I
is.
feel you.
And I probably shouldn't have. I was tired.
I was looking at my notes and I was trying to, speaking of tired and kind of, this is a time when I feel like injuries could happen for me personally, which is really every week. But I was thinking about this because my Achilles is off and on. Like sometimes it hurts, sometimes it doesn't.
Try the wrap.
Yeah, I need to. And I was trying to think, am I just injured all the time? Because remember when you first started running, you would just get injuries and you'd be like, oh, I got to take a week off. And I can't figure out if all those injuries are still with me, but I just got used to them. So I'm like just running with a ton of what used to be like setback injuries, but are now just my normal everyday life. And I honestly have no idea if I'm just running injured all the time.
I feel you specifically on this one because I've been dealing with the same thing. So
Okay.
my foot finally is clearing up, right?
Yeah.
And then my left butt cheek thing is happening. And I'm like, okay, the foot thing, I was like, I'm going to take...
You mean your glutes, right?
Whatever, where the ball of the thing goes into the...
Yeah, he does. He means glutes.
Okay. Anyway, where your stick goes in. Talk about it. And what gets us through the different ones. I don't think I ever said what I use. Anyways, I use Never Second right now. It's not a sponsor. I just like it. It's a little less syrupy, or it's a little less chunky than some of the other gels out there. So I'm really digging it. They have caffeine options too. So whatever it is, you need to practice before race day because you want to make sure you're not getting anything that will mess up your GI. So maybe that's something you should be thinking about.
You mean the top of your hamstring?
The top of your leg, like where the ball of the joint goes.
Yeah, that's like hamstring. Yeah.
Okay.
Or glute.
Yeah, but it's located up.
I got you.
That one, I'm like, I feel like I can run through this one. And like it's bothering me, but I feel like you just say screw it, you run through this one. The foot one, that one I knew I kind of had to back off, and I'm like, why do I feel like this one is the one to run through and know that the other one's not? Mm-hmm. The only thing I can think of is like, it feels like a soft tissue thing that I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like, it's weak. Like when I'm going uphill and stuff, I can feel a weakness in it.
But I feel like when I first started running, something like that would happen and I'd be like, oh man, I'm like this is, and now I'm just like, keep running through it.
See, I feel like Jarrett, our Whitefoot reviewer, if like a flea landed on him, he would be like, oh, got to take the day off.
I think he's just looking to take days.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A is having a sale.
No
he just had a baby.
Jarrett.
He's tired. Give the guy a break.
Oh, I'm totally fine with him.
No,
I'm shocked.
His wife had a baby.
Yeah, but
I'm shocked at the amount of mileage he's running right now for having a newborn.
He's doing a good job.
Impressive.
Yeah, I like that he's now listening to the podcast, so he'll hear us.
I'm here for you, Jarrett.
And then in relation to that too, which is running a lot and for a long time, is that do you have a picture in your head of how you look when you're running, and then when you get back from a run and look in a mirror, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. Or when I'm out there running and Tom's is videoing me, and I'm like, what?
Dude,
you look great. I'm the one.
Yeah,
like,
you do.
I know what you're talking about. Like your face is all zombied out. Dude. Like all the blood is out of it.
I came back from the run yesterday, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, that's not what I imagined myself to look like.
Wait, what was wrong?
It's just sweaty, and there's like lines from your hat, and your hair.
The hat lines are good.
it feels like it's like gravity pulled everything down. Like
it's like you start off your actual age, you get back, you're like 90. It's like
it really is.
Well, like the other day I was walking up because there's a apartment building near our house and they have big windows. So I looked over and I almost scared myself because literally like
I know
all the blood had drained out of my face.
Yeah.
And like I'm thinking I probably look youthful and I just finished this run and energetic. Maybe there's a glow from the sweat.
Yeah, right.
And
think that.
I looked over, I'm all hunched over and this white ghostly face. I was like, my precious.
You look like the crypt keeper.
No, I thought someone had a golden ring that I needed to take to Mordor.
Yeah. Dude, you better, I mean, that you do like finding gold every now and then, so.
I do.
But I imagine after a marathon, when someone recognizes you, I'm shocked anyone even recognizes us.
Well, your mustache helps.
That's true.
Like it really is, should trademark that.
It is the one constant of my face.
It might be one of our most valuable things next to the logo.
That's also why I race with a very low hat and sunglasses, because if you hide as much as your face as possible, that's like the best case scenario.
Okay, I have to say your kit
got a
for
good
Chicago I absolutely love. Like it is a bandit business blackout.
Ooh,
with white shoes.
I dig.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I was just, I'm sorry to anyone who talks to me after a group run or a marathon because it's shocking that you can get words out.
Would be nice too is if you're spitting on them when you talk.
Yeah. Or having.
Robbie, to your defense, I haven't noticed anything that drastic after you run. I think you're okay.
Yeah. So you're saying said to Robbie, I haven't
up.
noticed that to me. Yeah.
You after some runs, I'm like, dude, what happened?
I think this is a bigger issue to me because that just means I look like that all the time.
But wait a second. Meg just said, after some runs, you're like, dude, what happened? Let's rewind this one. And you still stay?
Still here.
Oh, God.
I think it is maybe when it's the hotter out and humidity, because I still feel like it was humid yesterday, so maybe that does something.
It does, because that slimy, like slime you get on you. And yeah, I don't know what it is. Also, we're in that transition. I just noticed like the other day, we had these beautiful gold color coming off of the summer, and it's gone. Like,
yeah, the tan fades real fast.
Oh yeah, what's that all
about? It goes from like 60 to 0.
I worked so hard for that watch tan, and it just disappears.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't. Yeah, you can't. I'm all the same color now. Anyway, what would you rather do? Read the Seinfeld review, or talk about the Ultra shoe?
I would like to. Wait, didn't we read the Seinfeld review?
No,
you posted it.
We posted it, but I think it was funny enough to.
Okay.
And then wasn't there another one that was good that you got? From
no, Robbie responded to them about the
mud room. No, was it
the
pumpkin?
peanut butter solution?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Right. Yes, I had a bunch of people reach out to me about that. So you're not alone, in case you were wondering. But I did speak one more note that I had that I wanted to give an update on was that a few episodes ago we were deep into school supplies and how good they tasted back in the day.
I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah. So I asked my kid who's in second grade, I was like, just wanted to check in and see what the status is with school supplies these days. So I asked him, like, do anyone in your class eat anything like school supplies? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, like paper or glue. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, paper? Yeah, we eat paper. I was like, really? You mean like? And he's like, yeah, just from your, just paper. Yeah, it tastes good. And I was like, all right. I was like,
what did he compare it to?
So he's like, yeah, it tastes like it's kind of like cotton candy, but without any flavor to it. And I was like, all right, yeah, this is kids know what's up.
You know what?
Hurts my soul.
This is actually a business we should get into. Make school supplies out of edible things.
It's not a terrible idea because then you're getting some nutrition while
you don't have to pack a lunch.
Yeah. Good luck explaining that one to teachers. They're not going to want that.
They'll just be feasting all day long.
I mean,
they'll be like, get out your pencils, and then they'll just be like,
I ate it. I ate my pencil.
But imagine if Kodiak Cake started getting into the school supply business, putting protein in pencils and stuff.
Again, I'm not sure this one's going to go over well.
Oatmeal paste.
I mean, I think it's not the worst idea.
All right,
It's
Robbie,
not the
let's
best
talk
one.
about it with Megan's not
Yeah.
around.
Okay.
I just imagine how many listeners listen to this podcast and are stealing business ideas all the time from us.
I know how many bands are starting with the names that you come up with.
The same ones that are coming to see your gourds, Robbie.
Probably.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah. If you want a special edition Believe in the Run Gore, just hit me up. I'll get Thomas to draw in Sharpie on it, and you can buy one for $10.
I actually love this for your holiday loved ones.
Yeah.
Don't show up empty-handed to Thanksgiving this year. Bring a Believe in the Gourd.
Yeah. Not bad. I like that. We have a new sponsor for the podcast.
Little farm industry. Hey, can we get government funding for that? Because don't they subsidize farmers and
Oh,
stuff?
I guarantee you I could get a government grant for that gourd garden.
Let's do it. City gourds.
The way they throw money around, I bet you I could get a grant within a couple of weeks.
I like it. We're starting city gourds.
Get in on that Bill Gates money. All right, so let's talk about shoe.
Yeah.
Read the review too at the end.
All right, because we want to encourage people to send these types of reviews because the creativity and the level of flattery, I think, is pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
So
wait, we're doing the review now?
No,
No.
we're doing the shoe.
Okay.
So, Robbie, what is Altra known for?
They are known for their natural toe box, their natural foot-shaped toe box, and also for having a zero drop shoe, which if you don't know, zero drop is the stack height is the same in the heel and the forefoot of the midsole.
And because we've always made fun of drop, because everybody, the first question they want to know when we review a shoe is, what's the drop?
It's the world's #1 running podcast.
Yeah, that's why we're
Worldwide.
like the drop. We'll call it the drop because literally to us, at least to me, I won't speak for both of you guys, but to me, the drop is irrelevant. It's how the shoe goes through your stride. Like it's a number, and it really depends on the geometry of the midsole to make the difference.
Right. And back in the day, a lot of the running shoes were crazy drops, 12 millimeters.
Dude, even like up to 14.
Yeah. And that was pretty common.
Yeah.
So-
The idea behind it was to relieve tension on your Achilles and to put you in a forward motion so that if you leaned, you would naturally, especially if you were a heel striker, you'd roll off the toe faster. And, you know, it's not an insane idea. I think that now most shoes like a rocker versus a high drop. And so we've seen some of the drops come down, but you still, like right now, I think you still see some outliers, but the majority of the very high drops are going to be around 10 millimeters.
Right.
And if you stacked up 10 millimeters, basically, I don't know, it's probably like 3 dimes to 4 dimes.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's that much.
Yeah, that seems like too much.
Keep talking.
All right. So Altra started by taking shoes and actually heating them up to around like almost 300 degrees, which would separate the glue in the shoe. They take the upper of a shoe off, put on like a zero drop outsole and midsole, and we're kind of like making these shoes. And eventually they started making a real zero drop shoe. And all this time, their philosophy has been that it's better for you. It strengthens the foot. It's just better for you in general. And now, with this shoe, they're changing everything, Robbie. What is it?
So this is a 4 millimeter drop shoe.
What's the name of it?
The Ultra. It's so weird. AltraFWD Experience, but the forward part is FWD, and it's also attached to the Ultra name in their press releases. So it's AltraFWD Experience. I don't get it.
So does that mean the regular ones are backwards?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the moon. You can do the moonwalk.
Do you think maybe the FWD is going to be included for all their shoes that have a drop?
That's
moving
what I'm
forward?
thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. And you're probably right. So, okay, we were way off on the dime thing.
Way off.
The dimes are 1.35 millimeters. So you're right. It would actually be about a 10 millimeter drop shoe would be like 7 dimes.
That seems like too much.
Have you seen a dime?
Yeah.
Very small. So 7 dimes difference
Dime
between
bag Daryl.
the thing. But 7 dimes is like that's like a little over a quarter inch.
I'm not gonna be doing metric stuff and getting called out on it.
By the way,
here,
this
so-
is the math episode of the drop.
Yeah.
Like, think about how much math.
You started this off talking about how we were going to talk about splits and
You
numbers,
think-
and then we did.
Yeah.
You think
I knew it.
Dumb.
you were wrong? So 10 millimeters is actually 4/10 of an inch, so closer to a half inch.
Well, slightly under.
Anyway, no one cares.
Yeah. So, what is special about this shoe, and why would you throw out your whole philosophy for this shoe?
I don't know. I don't know what's special about the shoe. I think in our review we kind of covered it. I was hoping this would be more of an exciting splash in the water, since Ultra is like coming out with their first 4 millimeter shoe, first drop shoe. Let's go all in, get people stoked about this. But it's a super normal shoe. Like there's
Is this
nothing.
a daily trainer?
Yeah, like a lightweight daily trainer. I think it weighs the same as a Clifton, maybe a little bit lighter than
It
that.
looks fantastic. I have to say, the design of it looks great.
Oh, definitely. I think especially for Ultra, I think the sculpting of the midsole, the
gotta say,
upper.
I'm super excited that you tied your shoes in the Ben Johnson.
Oh, that's how I do it now.
Isn't it awesome?
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I didn't like the Atreyu laces, because it was difficult to do that with those laces. But yeah, the upper, I love the upper, and I'm a big fan of Ultra uppers. I don't mind the foot shape, and especially this is the standard shape.
This one seems slimmer to me.
It is, yeah. I mean, it says standard. The original is the bigger one, so this is the middle variant of their foot shape, and it looks pretty normal.
Yeah.
I like the fit of it a
The
lot.
colors are nice. What we're looking at is kind of like an off-white and like a celery green, kind of light green. They're they look like if they were a candle, they would smell delicious.
Yeah. I still don't know what celery does in soup, by the way.
Celery?
Yeah. Sometimes I don't understand why you
gives
even
texture.
need to add it. Okay. Sorry, that's a side tangent.
I made chili this weekend. It was delicious.
We did too.
All
I
right.
had it last 2 nights.
I had it again last.
No way.
Tonight. Meg's got tacos on the menu.
Okay.
I might just have chili.
Yeah.
I love
Did you
it.
have cornbread too?
We did. Meg made the cornbread.
Nice. We had
The baker.
corn casserole, but pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Man, we're really vibing on the same wavelength here.
Yeah, it's because fall.
Tropical storm
And
Ophelia.
football started.
Yeah, I get that.
By the way,
Wait.
do you
Can we
know-
talk real
Yeah,
fast about
sure.
fantasy?
Yeah.
Oh, fantasy football?
Look
And
at
how-
Meg.
I'd
Wait a
rather
second.
not.
Look at Meg derailing the
I'd
conversation.
rather
I
I
love
know,
it.
because
you
this
got-
is important.
All right.
There's 3 women on our fantasy league and the Believe in the Run team, and we are all 3 on the top.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Lindsay's points are insane because
She has Miami's quarterback and wide
Yeah, she
receiver, and
went
she's
nuts this
crushing.
week.
Yeah. Look
Holy
at
crap.
look at the top. It's Karen, Megan. Who's number 1?
Karen,
And who's number 2?
me,
And who's number 3?
Lindsay.
And then the rest of us dudes.
Yeah.
It's Jarrett.
Karen and I are the only 2 that are 3-0 right now.
Chad, Robbie, Ryan, who helps do some editing.
Yeah, we don't
We're getting crushed.
It's a lot of the reviewers on the Believe in the Run team. Dude, I'm dead last.
Are you behind me? I'm 1 and 2.
And I'm usually pretty good at fantasy football. I'm usually in the top half, but this has been a disaster of a season. I hated my draft to begin with, so okay. Well, I'm impressed, Meg, I gotta say.
Yeah. And I lost my running back. So
To be fair, I did lose my top 3 players in the first 2 weeks.
Okay,
so.
this is about as exciting as Split. So
Yeah,
let's get back
anyways.
and
Yeah.
finish up the shoe review here.
Anyways, so this
Look
is
at me taking Meg's role. Freaky Friday.
it had to happen.
so the Ultra, yeah, it's just a very average shoe. The midsole is it's not even their proprietary EVA foam. It's just
What's it's Ego. Okay.
Ego Max. But so it just feels like a very average shoe. It's $140. I don't know. I just don't know why.
I was telling Robbie, these are the hardest shoes to review because if a shoe is really bad, it's easy to review and tear it apart.
Right.
Kind of like give suggestions. If a shoe is really good, you're like, wow, this is amazing. It's great to describe why it's a really good shoe. When a shoe is middle of the road, it's so hard to.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a brick or like a super firm shoe. It just felt very basic, lightweight trainer. Like I said, like the Brooks Launch or the something like that. Not a ton of magic to it. Just kind of, it wasn't bad. Like it's not like my feet hurt or whatever afterwards, but it's just like, I don't know. I just was thinking for their big 4mm drop, for their big first ever shoe with a drop, it was going to be something else. But
Let's blow it out. Let's get exciting. Let's do something fun.
Because they really did hype it up. Like, they were like,
dude,
strict embargo.
Did you see they did a video, the teaser, that I was like, wow, that looks crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, but
like crazy good.
Yeah.
Like whoever did that little teaser.
And I'm sure, honestly, it might be a thing for real hardcore ultra fans. To the feel of it, they might actually like.
Or people who have them kind of like wide toe areas.
Yeah.
Like,
not wide feet though.
Yeah.
Just wide toe areas.
Like flippers.
Yeah. If you had 10 toes on one foot, it might actually be great for you.
I mean, the good news about this, at 140, you could buy 4 pairs of these instead of one Evo 1. Yeah.
World record for toes on 1 foot.
Okay.
Those cats in Key West have 5 toes, right?
Oh, dang.
I don't want to know.
There was a guy.
Oh, dang, is scary.
There's a guy who had 14 toes and 14 fingers.
Well, don't they match usually?
Are you talking about both hands and both feet?
So is that 7 a hand?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. No.
Oh, no.
What?
No. Oh, my God.
Robbie, stop.
Yeah. People, do not Google this. You don't want to see
Dude,
it.
Injinjis would have a field day with that foot.
You'd have to make some custom Injinjis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So 2 of them together.
Do you guys like Injinjis? I hate toe socks.
I really bought into all the things when I first started running. So that's a pair of socks I had when I first started running.
So I will tell you, when I did ultras, I was enjoying Injinji because it does.
Yeah.
The one thing you know is that it's going to protect you against the blisters. So I did find, like when I did rim to rim, and that I had Injinjis and my feet were held up pretty well.
Yeah, same.
It's too much material. I don't like it.
The thing I don't like about them is that they're really bad in cold weather because your toes are separated from each other so they don't keep warm.
Like a glove versus a mitten.
Yeah, it's the exact same idea. So that was...
You know what you can do there?
Robbie, get off that website.
Sorry, I keep scrolling past a 14-toed kid.
What else is on here?
Yeah.
Dude, I would hate to see your search history. Like the stuff that you must...
Magicians.
Like, I don't even know. How do they send ads to you?
It's
Meanwhile, I'm buying everything.
I don't know. It is a hodgepodge of ads that I get for sure.
Okay, so overall, I think that your opinion of this shoe was flat even.
Yeah, it was 0 drop.
Okay.
Pretty much.
0 pickup, 0 drop.
Yeah.
All right, final check-in. This one's for all the people that aren't running a race or a marathon, that are just out here jogging, running, or maybe just listening. It's okay. It doesn't have to have a goal. You don't have to race. You don't have to do anything. You can just enjoy the feeling of moving your body, getting out there, getting some exercise. It's all good. It is kind of weird, though, if you're at this point in the podcast and you're not out on a long run, then what are you doing? But that's it. We'll check in next week. All right, let's get into 2 reviews. I liked both. The one about butter and the one about
Do you have them?
Seinfeld. I don't, but I figured you did. You're pretty organized.
No.
One about butter?
Peanut butter experience.
Peanut butter solution?
Yeah.
Well, first I wanted to say shout out to the listeners, all the listeners of all time, because we hit 1 million total plays.
That's insane.
It's
for
dumb.
the podcast.
That's insane.
1 million. There's not even that many people on Earth. So imagine there's probably people listening from Mars and other galaxies.
You're absolutely right. Also, if we had to write a check to each one of those people for $1, maybe $1 million.
We'd be rich.
No, I'm saying we had to write the check. The other thing that's kind of cool is our YouTube channel. It's very close to 80,000 subscribers.
No one cares until you get to 100.
I know. I want the 100 because I want people start a campaign. We need the 100, and it's not because I want anything else than this silver button they send out. If you can see it, Kafuzi's got one.
Yeah, it's mostly just for bragging rights.
It's not even for bragging. I just want I want a silver YouTube button.
No, what else is it for if it's not for bragging rights?
Yeah,
A collector's item. I just want it.
I think that's what collectors.
Yeah,
items
that's
are.
exactly what that is.
Oh, okay. So like you're telling me when people have NASCAR tire coffee tables, that's for bragging?
Yeah.
They got a tire.
Okay.
Is that it? You can buy those?
Yeah. New decor for Robbie's house.
Now that's an ad that he's going to definitely
We are
just
looking
go
for a new
NASCAR?
coffee table.
Dude, you encased the NASCAR tire that was driven in a real race in a glass case, and it's a coffee table.
Oh, you're right. That is a thing.
Let me see it. Is it cool? There it is.
Oh, it has a glass. That actually is pretty cool.
It's only, it's on to 700.
See, it has the glass on top of it.
So if you're looking for a NASCAR tire table, they run around $721. That's only.
That's on Etsy.
That's a little more than the Evo one.
Dude, someone's pit crew is making it like they're just stealing tires
Yeah.
and making
Yeah,
Etsy
you guys don't
tables.
worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got these. I'll throw them out.
All right, do you want me to read this review?
I do.
All right, the Drop Podcast, hosted by the Believe in the Run team, is an absolute gem in the world of running and entertainment. If you're a fan of Seinfeld like me, you'll find their dynamic reminiscent of the iconic cast, with Thomas as Jerry Seinfeld of the group, who dresses well for a runner and laughs at his own jokes. Much like Elaine, Megan brings a delightful quirkiness to the podcast, injecting humor, and has one of the best laughs in the business. She is the rudder of the group, keeping them on point while serving as a perfect complement to Thomas's Jerry-esque demeanor, making for an engaging and entertaining listening experience. Now let's talk about Robbie, who seems to channel both George and Kramer from Seinfeld. His unpredictable tangents, deadpan response, and hilarious anecdotes are the Kramer moments we all need, while his penchant for mishaps and adventures mirrors George Costanza's famous misadventures. Together with Thomas and Megan, Robbie adds the perfect blend of chaos and comedy.
Wow.
I love that because I was actually thinking about this today on my run. Robbie is more Kramer than certainly Costanza's demeanor, because Robbie, you know how Kramer wasn't like, he's not Jerry's best friend. It's not like he's attached to him at the hip like George. He's kind of like, you don't know what he's doing.
And he pops out of nowhere.
Yeah, you don't know. He's just going to be around. Robbie, we go on trips. And like, I'll turn around and be like, where did Robbie go? And the next thing you know, he's got this jacket that he got off somebody. He's strolling down the street. You're totally unpredictable.
I feel like I should have pre-warned you about that, because I think it took you a while to get used to it.
It did. Like, I felt like I was supposed to be like, where's Robbie? Where's Robbie? Now I'm just like, he'll show up where he's supposed to be.
Yeah. I need to drift off. I don't know.
Yeah,
I did. It's not like you guys. It's like any circumstance.
When we first started doing trips together, it used to drive me nuts. And I think I just got to this point.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Well, because I'm like, okay, everybody stay together. I was doing like a teacher. Everybody pick a partner, stay together. And then Robbie would just be like, where'd Robbie? Like, we're in Japan. We all go to get lunch. Where's Robbie? He found the robot sushi place. He's gone. So yeah, but yeah, now I'm totally used to it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a social thing, where I just need to be away from people sometimes, or if it's just, I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like I've always been like that, because I remember other circumstances where with groups of people, and it's just like I had to like remove for a little bit, but I don't know why. When you
were a kid,
yeah,
and adults were trying to keep you into like everybody, like I was saying, like a teacher situation.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Is it
really
difficult
remember.
to keep you in a?
I can't.
Like a group. Like
I
you're doing fire drill. Where's Robbie?
Yeah, I don't remember that as a kid or not. If that was the case, but definitely I remember other parts like where people said the same thing to me. But yeah,
I would say you do have the misadventures like Costanza.
Yeah,
but you know who I think is a Costanza?
Who?
Jared.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, Jared's very much a George Costanza type. cheap as hell. Loves the minute details of life. Getting into that. I would agree with that.
All right. So now you brought up something I'd never heard of, and now I feel like maybe I have to watch it. The peanut butter solution.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nightmare thing. We brought it up when we were talking about Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and the creepy dude who caught the kids and put them in the crate.
The kid catcher, right? Child catcher is his name. Yeah. And then someone wrote it in an email. Do you have that, Meg?
I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay. If not.
Yeah. Nora Nickel.
Shout out.
Nora
Which,
Nickel.
by the way, great name.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
How many millimeters is nickel?
She probably doesn't even know that.
She said, "Hey there, new listener here and love your podcast. First got wind of your podcast after listening to Megan on the Allie on the Run show. Episode 184 was the second time I listened to your podcast."
Shout out to Allie.
Yeah. Hi, Allie. And you all mentioned the movie, The Peanut Butter Solution. I honestly thought my sister and I were the only two human beings in this world that ever saw that movie during our childhood. I wish I could send you the screenshot of my text exchange with my sister when I sent her to your podcast and told her to start listening at about the 29-ish. Anyway, took that as a sign to listen to you all more. You are great, and I really enjoy the dynamics with everyone on the podcast. I'll be running Chicago in a couple of weeks. Good luck, Megan.
Nice.
All
Well,
right.
if you're running Chicago, we might be doing something there, right?
Yeah, we're going to do something.
There's
Or
a
not
lot
we,
of
I won't be there.
there's a
but-
lot of balls in the air right now, but yeah, we'll be doing something.
Okay.
We should make, I think we should make like a Robbie puppet so that when we go places, because everybody always asks me, where's Robbie? And I can just pull it out.
Can
Like
you
an
make
effigy?
a poster of Robbie's face for when I'm out running so that when I run by I just see Robbie's giant face?
Do you want that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, like one of those big head things?
Yeah.
Yeah. Robbie, help me do that.
I'm going to ask Kimmy for a photo because she'll give me a good one.
Not that first 5K photo, please.
Wait, I thought I took really nice. You looked really handsome in those Tracksmith photos.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job of making
See?
me look like the dad that I am.
And no post-run terrible face.
Yeah, you looked
just great.
There's one. I see. I think when you catch Robbie at his best, it's Magnum PI.
Yeah.
When you catch him at his worst, it's like it's almost a cartoon. It's like that dopey dog.
What's a dopey dog?
He's
I know who you're talking
yeah,
about.
like he's a little like him. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll take that, I guess.
I mean, Magnum PI,
Yeah.
dude's a sex symbol.
I think I think I've been going like all in on the mustache, being like maybe I need to even extend the borders a little bit to make it
Is this specifically for the marathon or this is just life?
just life.
Okay.
Well, I
noticed you're
I thought
shaving
about shaving it up, like shaving it completely, and my kids like lost their minds when they were like, "No, I love the mustache. You have to keep it." I was like, "You don't even remember this
but
point."
at this point, it's part of your face. It'd be like cutting off your
Change is hard, Robbie.
I didn't mean it to be a lifetime event,
Well,
and now
here we
it's
are.
Dude, I don't know that I don't want to see you without that mustache.
it limits the Halloween costume.
Are you kidding? You've got all the Halloween mustache costumes though.
like what Prefontaine?
That's a good one.
Magnum PI, get that red Hawaiian shirt and the short jean shorts
Yeah,
and a Ferrari, you're set.
but like, yeah, Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, well, people, I need to hear more.
Detective.
Good.
You could be a detective, an old time bartender or a chemist.
I want to be like something cool though, like a more modern like.
Give
I don't know.
me something that'd be cool because I will
I don't
tell you,
know,
I don't
like-
have a mustache. There's no cool Halloween costume.
Like Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future,
I couldn't pull that off.
Marty McFly. Sorry,
I could maybe do Doc.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking of. There's a lot of things with most people in the world don't have a mustache, so right off the bat, you're limiting your options if you have a
See,
mustache.
I think you're looking at it wrong. Most cool people in the world do.
When I Googled the 2023 Halloween costumes, the first one that comes up is Ted Lasso in a tracksuit. So
Yeah.
there you go. Good to go.
That will just be Robbie though.
Yeah.
Like that's unfortunate.
All right, well, we'll see, but I
Yeah.
guess I'll just keep it here for now.
I think we've dragged this one on super
Yeah.
long.
Oh wow, that is long.
Yeah.
All right, people like it. It's long run season.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for
All right.
listening, everyone.
We'll wrap it up. Hey, thanks to Brandon for editing this up. And anybody you guys want to thank?
Just my
What about the listeners?
I was going to say that, but I was waiting for Robbie to go first.
my listeners as in my family. Yeah, all the listeners. thank you for listening to this. All 1 million of you. All unique listeners, right?
Yeah.
They listen one time, then quit.
Yeah, that's it. Unique listens.
Yeah, and if my mom's listening to this, I'm sorry. Sorry for everything I've become.
Save her a gourd.
She never saw her kid turning into a poor man's version of Kramer.
All right. Hi, Mom.
I'm going to, before we go, I'm just going to say, hey, thanks for the people that wrote the letters to us. We really appreciate knowing that there's actually people with ears on the other side of this, and maybe eyes if you're watching on YouTube. But thanks for writing in. We
maybe
appreciate
14 fingers or toes. You never know.
Oh, I hope I never see that picture again. Anyway, that's a wrap. See you next week.